That was a mean look. No, I'm on camera. We're live. Yeah. My wife glaring at me across the room. Andy's Lawn Care. Good to hear you as always, buddy. Or see you. As the let's see. Does look like I'm live in your end, so it's got to be working, right? Let's test the chat. David Flippin, good to see you again, Dave Flippin. Which, since we've learned several streams ago, is your last name, Mr. Flippin. Texas veteran, Kev, what's going on, man? How you doing? I've been missing videos from you. You've been uploading them, but just not enough for me. Didn't you do a review on one of your mowers? Not too long ago, in the last week or so, you did I don't know if it was a 100-hour review of your Ferris. Was that right? Z1, yeah. Was it a 100-hour review? Is that what you did? I think I'm around. I think I'm getting close to 20 on the Bobcat. So I still have a ways to go before I hit 100. Yeah, that Z1 looks like a real machine. I think I've said it before, but excuse me, I would have liked to look at a Ferris, but there's just no dealers. I think there's one in Jacksonville, Florida, which is an hour away. That's too far for me now. Excuse me. As always, I've been drinking my not sponsored affiliate link in the description for your own 6-pack of Poulan seltzer water. So I've got the carbonation that's making me burp. The weather's pretty good. It's been nice, cool, crisp mornings that have been turning into very hot days by, like 9. But still not a lot of rain. So the grass has been pretty slow. I think I've got one weekly, 4 or 5 that are bi-weekly, and then another 2 or 3. I still haven't hit 10 yet. I got a couple more, and then I had a house sale and somebody else dropped off. But a couple more that are just like as needed. But even the weekly or even the bi-weeklies, some of them I've been like, if you want, we'll just go, to the next one. Because I do everything by the cut, not contract. So they don't necessarily mind skipping if it means they aren't going to have to pay. And I don't mind skipping if it means I'm not going to have to, spend half an hour in a yard and it looks exactly the same as when I left it. But yeah, good weather, just not as much rain as I would like. Dylan, hey, good to see you again, man. Dylan is very close by. Very, very close by. Sinkholes. Was there something in the news about a sinkhole? Because I don't know. I don't get the reference. I don't think I've done anything about sinkholes, so it must be something about Florida. So, David, tell me where you were again. I forgot what state you hailed from. Oh, Texas. I guess if I read the very first, I've got a pretty poor memory. The very first text message you sent said Texas. So now let me ask you this. Kevin and David, how close are you guys to each other? I don't know. I don't know if you guys are close at all. And Kevin, I can't remember what part of Texas. I want to say Dallas or Austin because those are pretty much the places in Texas, right? Not the only ones, but the bigger ones that people who don't know anything about Texas would say. Texas veteran. Oh, there was a sinkhole in Ocala. I've got to look that up. I don't usually watch the news too much, but I will have to look that up. Hey, James West. Good to see you, man. What time is it over there? Is it like, do I just double it or add 12 hours on? What day is it over there? How's the weather down there? Is it wintertime? Okay. Let's see. Dylan saw me today. I don't think I saw you. So you got a leg up on me. Madison Shoes. Madison lives in the neighborhood too. We are going to get everybody from Copper Creek in. It's just going to be, we can turn this into a town hall meeting if we need to. David's in Lubbock. And Texas, Kevin is in Spring, which is north of Houston. So I'll be honest, David, I don't know where Lubbock is. In fact, if you told me you were from Lubbock and I didn't know that was in Texas, I probably would have thought it was somewhere in the UK, like Ireland. I'm from Lubbock in Queensland. No? Where are you at, James? See, this is the good thing about these live streams is I get geography lessons. That's pretty much what it's devolved into at this point. It's just geography lessons about where everybody lives. Andy's from Chicago. I think I remember that, Andy. You had done a 2018 setup video, like just before that it had rained, or you did the video and then just a couple days after rain, snowed is what I'm talking about. Dylan's the one on the gray golf cart. I think you said that last time. I'll have to keep an eye out for the golf cart. Most of the time, when I see a golf cart, I just pay attention to my lane and try not to swerve. 4.5 south of Amarillo. Okay. Amarillo is kind of a bigger one, a bigger city too. Or again, I say bigger. I don't really know if it's bigger, but one of the more main ones. So let's see. About the newest thing I can say is I've got the Aquascape videos that are pending. I did that fountain install, and it's a good product. There are a couple of things that I don't necessarily like, but you know, it is what it is, and it's not of enough of a reason to not buy it. It's basically something that if I knew going into it, I would have been fine with it, but finding out after the fact was annoying. So there's that teaser. And then I don't know if I posted anything, but I did buy a Harbor Freight auger, videos on that. So the first time I used it was very interesting. It almost caught on fire. I was digging where there was a lot of root and it started overheating. And so I got that on video. So that should be a good video. And then I used it one more time in my yard, which is heavy clay without any roots, and it did really well. And then I went over to a friend's yard today. He's putting up a fence. So it dug about 8 fence holes in super soft, sandy soil, and it did beautifully. But when we got closer to the existing fence line, like he's doing across, like if this is his property, his house is here, and he's doing the fence line from the house out to the property lines. As you got closer to the property lines, there's a lot more trees and stuff. And once it got near the roots, it cut through some of them. But once it got to a certain thickness, it couldn't do it. But the thing that I didn't like about it is the pulling itself out. So at one point there was 3 inches of string left, and then there was a foot. And by the time I stopped, because you know I'd start it, dig the hole, shut it off, and we put the post in. And another 10 minutes later, start it up. Every time I started up, there was more and more string coming out of the recoil. So now I can basically just pull it like, and that's all the give it has. So I'll have to fix that. But what can you do? You know, Harbor Freight, 180 bucks. Can't complain for that. It does dig holes very nice in specific soil conditions. But anyways, I've got some videos on that coming up soon. So those are a couple of things you can look forward to, in addition to the mowing, the lawn trimming, hedge trimming. That's what I meant. All right, now to get caught up on comments, which there weren't that many. Lubbock is bigger population-wise. How many hours on the standard? I think I said I haven't hit 20. I think I'm between 15 and 20. I think 18 is what it said last time. 16 or 18? I can't remember because it was dusty and you know the 6 and the 8 look real close. But I still like that standard a lot. David, go finish cleaning your bathroom, man. Make it sparkle. I want to see my face in the porcelain. Yeah, the only thing bad I can say about that stander is, and it, you know, if I shoot some fluid film or grease in there, I think it'll be fine. But that platform, and now that I know about it, it's not a real issue. It's just an inconvenience. The latch, really got to make sure you kick it in. And sometimes I've got to give it like 2 or 3 good kicks before the latch finally catches. So there's a little peg on the platform that comes up into a hook, and the hook holds it. You can't see my face anymore. Sometimes that hook will just not come down on it, and it just pops right back out. That's when you break your shin, you know. So that's really the only bad I can say about the Bobcat. I have been running into issues with starting my equipment because of the heat in my trailer. I've got a black enclosed trailer, and it doesn't have any vents. So I've purchased 4 side vents, and I'm going to be installing those. I took temperature readings too, and you know it got above 110 degrees inside of the trailer when it was like 80 something outside, you know, and sunny. And the mower, my Echo PAS 2620, and the 770 blower, when I would get to like my 2nd and 3rd yard, and you know all those hot engines had been baking inside of the trailer, they have some real difficulty starting. So hopefully that problem will be abated or will abate itself. Hopefully that problem goes away when I put those vents in. But that's really the only bad thing I have to say about the Bobcat is it's had some difficulty starting because of the heat, which I think that's going to be any kind of mower once or any kind of power equipment. Once a certain level of heat is in the, that fuel kind of vaporizes and vapors a lot harder to get things started. So, but love the Bobcat. Very good mower. And again, full disclosure, I am a very light user of it. I only mow it a couple days a week, and I'm coming from a Big Dog Alpha, which is a residential mower. So my bar of excellence is set fairly low when it comes to folks in the lawn care industry. So just consider that. Let's see. Romero, how you doing, man? Good to see you. Romero's putting out some good videos. You got to keep an eye out on him. Andy wants a shout out. Andy's Lawn Care and Outdoor Adventures. Now, normally I'll go for the Outdoor Adventures channels as well, but he has got a couple of. I know he's got a setup video. What's a lawn care video that you've got up? Let me know about that. He's got a couple of good videos that I've seen. Ross Lawn Care, Bobcat Nation. You did a review of your Bobcat too. Ours the same size? I think you've got a 48. I can't remember if you have a 36 or not. Anybody share an unusual love for Briggs & Stratton's 3.5 horsepower motors? RJC 86 2003. That is an incredibly specific love when it comes to mowers. Is that a push mower, 3.5 horsepower? I'm trying to think. I want to say I had a 6.5 on a push mower that was a Craftsman. So I don't know. I don't even know what a 3.5 horsepower motor would do. Maybe that was like the foot-pounds of torque or something. And they just tried to make it look like the horsepower. Ross Lawn Care put 6 hours on it last night on one job. Goodness, I hope you mean like last night when you were mowing the yards. 6 hours on the stander. I don't know if I could do that. It is comfy, but I don't know if it's 6 hours comfy. So Ross says he loves his QuickCat. It does great with the 50 yards he does. Yes, RJC, I think it is vapor locking. I talked to somebody at Echo too, because the problem is, I think maybe because the engine's smaller, and obviously because there's not an electric starter on like the Echo PAS 2620. So I asked him, I said, first lawn of the day, when I pull the trailer out of the garage, it starts beautifully. Second, third, fourth yard, it's very, very difficult to get started. I've got to, what do I have to do? I have to pull the throttle down. I have to keep cranking. When it starts up, it's real sluggish. And he said that over 90 degrees is when fuel will start to evaporate very quickly. I don't think he used the term boil, because that doesn't seem right. But 90 degrees is the target for when you start having issues with vapor lock. And the other thing with the Echo stuff is that there's a, what is it? It's not a priming system. It's a purging system. So it's not a primer bulb on that PAS 2620. It's a purge bulb. And the difference is that if you only got a primer and there's only 2 lines, fuel line coming from the tank to the carburetor, and then I guess from the carburetor right to the back to the fuel tank. Don't quote me on that. But if there's only 2 fuel lines and it's a priming system, that's when you can flood an engine. But with the Echo PAS 2620, I don't know if it's all of them. I would assume it is. They've got a purging system, which means that basically you can pump that primer bulb or the purge bulb, and you won't flood the engine because there's a third line that brings the fuel somewhere else out. So I don't know if it's vapor lock, because I think he said that was an issue with, when you've got a priming system. But it is something about, the fumes are getting somewhere where it's not, the carburetor's having some issues. The gas cap, unscrewing it, I do that, and it's still, because my old Poulan Pro that I used to use in some of my videos, especially the ones with like the big views on them, that's the kind of stuff I use, was that Poulan Pro stick. And it's only got 2 fuel lines, and it's a priming system. I had to make sure I said the right one. And yes, on real hot days, I would unscrew the cap and you'd hear, psst, and that would like solve the issue, but not the case with the Echo. So Romero throwing on the shades on a smiley face. I like it. Off-grid lifestyle, vapor lock sucks. It does. It's very, and if that I may be wrong, and that is what it is, but it's such a pain. I'm hoping that the vents in the trailer will make a big difference about the ambient temperature, because you think when I took some measurements, some temperature measurements on the muffler of the big cat, or the exhaust, whatever you want to call it. As soon as I was done mowing, that thing was like 300 or 400 degrees, like as soon as you shut the engine off. So if I shut that off inside of the trailer and close it back up after I've got my string trimmer out, that 300 degrees is just shooting off to the inside of the trailer. So it's not hard to see how if there's no ventilation, it gets hot really, really quick. Ross Lawn Care is getting an XRZ 52. I don't know. Is XRZ a Bobcat? I don't really know anything about Bobcat. I know they've got a CRZ, or is that Honda? A Honda car. I can't. All I know is Bobcat, QuickCat. I know Big Dog mowers by name, but I don't know pretty much anything else. And I know Gravely Pro Stance and Compact Pro Compact. Okay, maybe I don't know Gravely. Never mind. What kind of mower do you recommend for backyards where the big riding mowers won't fit? I don't know if you want to take my advice, because as lawn care guys go, I think I'm pretty lazy. So let me explain. I've got that 36-inch standard because the yards that I want, I don't like sitting on a mower for, an hour at a time. So I don't want acreage properties. I really only want like tiny little subdivision yards. That being said, I don't need a 48 or a 52. So I've just got that Bobcat QuickCat 36-inch. That's all I use. Before that, I had the Big Dog Alpha, which I still have it in the garage. I just don't use it. So I like, having a standard that will fit in the backyard. If you get 36, you're going to fit in almost every single gate. And I think Kevin, I don't know if he's still on. He may have left. But Kevin from Texas Veteran, I think all he runs is a 36-inch Ferris Z1. Z1? X1. Ferris something 1. I think he does the same kind of thing where if he can't fit that 36 inches in the back, he just doesn't mow it. So far, I haven't found anything where, the 36-inch won't fit. Plus, my backyard it's got a gate on either side. On one side, it's fine, but the gate on the other side yard is 36, so I have to. I wanted to be able to mow that part too. And there's a deck in the back that cuts it in half. That's why I can't, just use the other one. So anyways, Romero, that is what I say for backyards. Stand on it or get a zero turn. I don't like push mowing, and I don't want to push mow. So that's why I don't do it. But I know a lot of people like the Toro Time Master, the 30-inch. And then it seems like the people who don't like the Toro 30-inch, they just get like a heavy-duty Honda Harmony, HRX. I don't know what Honda push mowers are right now. Bobcats, they bought somebody recently, Eastman Industries, and they make, it looks like a bulletproof 21-inch commercial with a nice Kawasaki, is it an FJ series engine? And, it's even got like a roll bar on the front of it. Not roll bar, but, like a brush bar. It looks really nice. But I wouldn't know because I don't push mow. Like I said, kind of lazy. RJC says there's an old style carb on the fuel tank. Must be talking about the Poulan Pro. Andy's got a lawn care video coming tonight or tomorrow. I edit the video. It's about grass seed. A little teaser. All right. Good to know about grass seed. Down here is mainly St. Augustine and centipede. I don't think St. Augustine is a real big grass that you seed. I always see it in sod or plugs. I guess, I don't know. I'd have to research if there's some grasses that aren't done by seeds. Tina Russell. Hey, Miss Tina. Tina's been giving me some good love on the video. I tell her it's a no copay therapy plan to just kind of listen to the music and chill out. If anybody else knows, which I'm sure everybody does, something to look at, he's down in Orlando. And I turn his videos on all the time just for the white noise. Actually, the other day I had a headache. I was like, man, nothing's making this headache go away. I'm going to try and take a nap. And so I turned on him doing some real-time mowing and laid down on the couch. Sure enough, it cured my headache. So that's what these YouTube videos are for. healthcare, mental health. Just kidding. Good to have you on, Miss Russell. Ross care. Okay, so Ross said he had done 6 hours on the Bobcat, and I was worried it was on 1 yard. He said no, he just did 12 last night. He's going to do a live stream tonight. What time? What time are you doing it, Ross? Andy's going to be there. I might have to be there too. He's going to talk about soliciting yards. So like that's a word I don't hear very often. So as far as soliciting, do you mean marketing in general, or do you mean going up door to door and saying, I want to do your lawn and you want me to do your lawn? So let's just cut to the chase and let me do your lawn. Something like that. I don't know. I guess we'll have to tune in and see. James West says, get some stills, no issues. I've got no problem with trying still. I'm just too cheap to go out and buy one. It's kind of like the devil you know beats the devil you don't. But I do think that is a good idea to maybe even just get, I'd have to make sure that the engine and fuel delivery system on whatever still I get is the same across all of them. But what I may do is get like a cheap still from Ace and put it in the trailer and see if it's got the same issues. But it's got to be the same as the nicer ones, because otherwise somebody will say, oh, that's just because you got a residential brand. On the commercial still, it won't do that. But that is a good idea, just to see, because I know that the issue is with the Bobcat with a 19 horsepower engine. It's with the PAS with a 25.6 cc engine, and then it's with even the PB 770 blower, which is like 63 cc. So across all the engine sizes and different engines, it's doing the same thing. And my Poulan Pro did it. So that's why I don't want to say I still wouldn't. But until I have it do it, I guess I can't say anything. So maybe, James, and it may be because of you that I go get a still. What would be a lower level still that people would still think matched that I could get? If you've got a model number, throw it out and I'll see what Ace has. It should probably be a combi system though, since that's what I use. Ross Lawn Care is a Bobcat. No, he's not a Bobcat. It is a Bobcat. That makes more sense. So earlier he said he had a CRZ mower, and I didn't know if that was a Bobcat or not. It is. It's the littlest of the Bobcats. As far as the size, deck or like a residential model. Romero says, thanks. You're welcome. Tina Russell, love your video. Soothing, and it's a great job when you finish. That's because I only put my good work out. I do horrible work all the time. I just don't film those videos. I'm just teasing. But I do appreciate you watching. And I thank you that it's good work. Editing makes it a little bit easier because you get to see bad, 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 and then bam, good right at the very end. So there's a little psychology in it. St. Augustine grass can only be done by solder plugs, said Andy. So we'll take his word for it. Yes, Tina says it's good white noise. It's very good white noise. There's something about those mowers that are just, that's what I like to hear. Or edging or string trimming, especially if there's like some nature sounds or birds chirping in the background. I mean, not like right on top of the mower, but you guys know what I mean. I hope you do. Ross Lawn Care is probably going to be 8:39 before it starts. I think 8:30 or 8:40 is about when I'm going to be wrapping this up too. So not that you need to start based on when I finish, but so James wants me to get a still. I might look into it. I know that Ace is who I have in town that sells still, and I'll have to see what kind of stuff they have. They've got a whole huge wall that's nothing but still, and I've never really paid attention to it because I've never needed any of it. Plus, I don't want to say anything bad about Ace, but almost everything I've ever purchased there has been more expensive than other places like Lowe's or Walmart or Home Depot. So usually the only time I buy something at Ace is when I have to. Ace is one of the only folks in my town. Again, I'm 45 minutes one way from Jacksonville, 45 minutes the other, Lake City, Florida. Those are the two biggest cities. Ace is the only one in town that does any kind of irrigation stuff. So there was a job yesterday that I needed some 1-inch fittings, and I ran out. I didn't have any, and I had to get what they had. And, you know, with plumbing fittings, the little pieces that slip together, it's like $1.50 there. Maybe it's $1 at Lowe's. So it's only 50 cents, but it's still the principle of the thing. At least it is for me. So anyways, that was my rant about Ace. But I will go and look at what kind of still stuff they have, because I think they're the only place I can get it in town. A 56 RCE trimmer right in between homeowner and commercial, $200. All right, I might. Oh, now James is saying FS94R or KM94R. Oh, is the combi? Combi's over $300. All right. Well, I don't know. I'll have to figure out if I want to go for super comparative and do combi system versus pro attachment system, or if I want to do just echo still and do which I don't know. If it's only $100 more, just for kicks, I might do it. I don't know. Not like I'm saying $100 isn't a lot of money, but if it prevents people from saying this isn't the same, you should have done the combi system, then that will be worth it. Okay, let's see. Light, high power, and torque. Asked to demo is still FS90. I could ask to demo. I never thought about that. I guess I don't know if I think the local guy goes to the local guy who's my dealer. I think he only does echo. And there's several other dealers in town, but I don't know if they do still. I know one does Husqvarna. I'll have to double check. But I think when I go to still, Ace is the only place that shows up. Ace does not know what they're talking about. Do I know any good lawn care companies in South Carolina? Tina had a good one. They came one day and didn't do the whole yard. Did do the whole yard or didn't do the whole yard? Weird. If you mean didn't do the whole yard, what do you mean? Like they forgot to string trim or? But let's see. South Carolina. I think Plemons is Richie Plemons in South Carolina? Which I've got. Trying to see. I've got their contact info somewhere. I say they, I mean the other guys in the Echo group. But I don't know where it is. Yeah, okay. Keep it off screen so you guys don't blast their emails and stuff. So I'm looking for South Carolina. South Carolina. No South Carolina yet. Let's see. No, Richie's Georgia. Richie was the only one I thought might be in South Carolina, and he's in Georgia. The other thing you can do is Google lawn care South Carolina and see if anybody has a channel. I mean, there's people everywhere who do these lawn care YouTube channels, so maybe. But no, I'm sorry, I don't. I would take care of your yard if you were closer, but that's like a 8-hour drive, so it'd probably be more than you'd want to pay for me to take care of your yard. Andy, buy a 56. It's more like $150 difference. Buy a 56, way cheaper. So Tina says they didn't do her whole yard. They did one side of the yard and the other side was kind of high. I don't know. Maybe somebody just messed up or I don't know. I can't really explain that. I mean, obviously somebody made a mistake somewhere or else the whole yard would be the same height. But Home Advisor is an awesome site. Okay, so Ross is saying Miss Russell should check out Home Advisor. You could probably do that with all those kind of sites. Thumbtack, Home Advisor, Nextdoor. I don't think Nextdoor costs the lawn care company anything. But what I've seen is that I think if I were somebody looking for a contractor, I'd just go hit all those different sites and, see, because some people are going to like one and they'll only use that. And then some people are going to like another and only use that. So if you only go with one, you may only get the 2 or 3 guys that use that. But if you do every single one, then, you're going to get a lot more opportunities to find somebody that you like. James says that the 56 is homeowner, so go ahead and get the FS94 or the KM94R. Okay, I'll probably look at the combi system just because, and that if I just get a regular string trimmer, the only thing I'll really be able to do is test how it handles the temperature. But if I do get a combi system, then in the future I can, compare pro attachment seats, which is all I use, to combi system, which that would make more sense anyways because in my trailer, one of the main reasons I have those attachment systems is because my trailer is so short. It's only like 5 feet. I can't really get in there and mount stuff and 5 feet wide. So that's why I like the stuff that breaks up. So I might do that. Ross wants to know, is there any way that you can see how much fuel's in the QuickCat? I don't think so, unless you jerry-rig some kind of fuel gas cap. But even then, it would have to be at some weird angle, and the reading wouldn't be 100% right. The only way that I know what the fuel level is when it runs out of fuel, and then it's pretty low, and then you switch it over to reserve, which I might do a video on. I was curious about how that worked. there isn't really a reserve tank on the Bobcat. So there's a fuel dial, and you can have it on. It's just a lever that you turn, and it's either on, off, or reserve. And so the idea is if you run out of fuel and it dies, flip it over to reserve, and you've got 10 minutes to get back to the truck or finish the yard or do whatever, so you're not just stuck out there. And I was like, man, that's pretty cool. They've got a whole secondary reserve tank, but only one fill port. That's probably pretty neat. I looked up the diagram, and all it is, which I'm not saying it's still not neat, but all it is that it's the same fuel tank. Your main, for the on setting, the main fuel line goes down like, let's just say this far, and the reserve fuel tank line goes down this far. So it's all pulling out of the same tank. It's just that your main fuel line is shorter, so it can't reach all the fuel. So when you run out and you switch to the longer one, so like I said, it still gives you 10 minutes. It still does its job, but I was a little bit disappointed that there wasn't like some super complicated special reserve tank that, you know, like siphoned off of the main one. So that's your little engineering education on Bobcat for the night. Let's see. So no, as far as I know, no way to find out how much fuel is on it. And that might be, well, see, now I haven't paid attention to the standards to know if they've got fuel tanks, but I feel like a lot of them, well, no, Skag kind of has their tank out. I think the main issue with the Bobcat is that their tank is in the center of the wheel wells, and unless the tank was like, you know, on the outside where it could go straight down, I don't know how you'd find a gas gauge that would work, because it just basically has a little float that goes up, but it needs to be straight to do that. Andy has a commercial guy in his area who does 100+ yards using an Echo 225 and a Steel 56, which, as I understand, are like the entry model trimmers for those brands. Yeah, I've got nothing against homeowner brand or homeowner level if it works. I just know that with my big dog, there was a bunch of stuff, which that's a different comparison. There's a bunch of stuff though where I said I want the commercial stuff. This is a bit of a pain as far as I'm concerned. Tina got quotes for a retainer wall on Home Advisor. It was like a high school play audition, very bad. Yeah, sometimes you can strike out pretty badly on that stuff. Let's see. James has a 94R and swears by it. Let's see. Ross says if you're almost out of gas, switch to reserve. Gives you another 20 minutes to go. Yeah, because it's a little bit longer of a fuel line, so it gets all the gas at the bottom. All right, guys, it is 8:34. I promised myself this wouldn't be a long one, mainly because I'm beat and I want to go to sleep. So thank you guys so much for watching. As always, I really do appreciate it. We've got some interesting videos coming out soon. So if you like that kind of thing, make sure you stick around to the channel. And if you guys ever have any questions, post them in the comments. I reply to all the comments within 1 or 2 days. So just let me know if you've ever got a question, or shoot me an email, coppercreekcuts@gmail.com. And everybody's saying good night. I'll update you, James, on if I get still for comparison purposes. I'll have to do that before I install the vents on the trailer, which they haven't got here yet, so that's fine. But anyways, thank you guys so much, and I hope you have a good rest of the night and a good weekend. Bye. Now you've got that awkward thing where I find where the end button is. Okay, there it is. Bye.